Well, I'm joined in the studio now by Goran Zaneti. He's a writer, activist, and political analyst with expertise in U.S. foreign policy and Middle East conflicts. He's also the film producer for Resistance is Life, an award-winning documentary about Syrian-Kurdish refugees in Turkey. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
I've seen a large part of your film, which is gaining a lot of traction online right now. It's trending, even though it's been out for a year or so.
Sure.
Isn't it remarkable how ordinary life continues in these camps up on the Syrian-Turkish border when a terrible, terrible existence, but people rally even in those awful circumstances?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the resiliency of the people there is remarkable, and just being able to show that story and being able to show those people and how hopeful they are is something that I think everybody needs to see.
And this was fighting in and around the border town of Kobani, what, about 4 years ago?
Yeah, this was in 2014, between September and about March. There was a heavy fighting. It was one of the major attacks by ISIS and one of the first large-scale victories by local forces on the ground.
Right. Well, your film features a delightful young girl who I think is 7 or 8 or 9 years old. She's called Evelyn. We're going to take a little clip at the movie now, and you'll meet her for the first time. Take a look. What do you think when you see that and you see a girl of that age telling the camera, ISIS was coming to kill us? I mean, what an awful thing for a child of that age to have to just be comfortable with saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reality for those children on the ground. I mean, it's what they've seen, it's what they're growing up with, and that's something that they're going to have to carry with them their entire lives, unfortunately.
You were telling me that there was a cultural center in this camp in Kobani, where they still are today.
Yeah.
A couple of things about that. ISIS bombed the cultural center, but before they did that, the kids were invited in to do paintings and drawings, and you were saying that many of the paintings and the drawings were of ISIS beheadings.
Yeah, they were a reflection of, the reality. There was paintings of, ISIS beheadings drawn by children as young as 7 or 8 years old. It's quite heartbreaking.
You also said that the camp has changed a lot in the last 4 years. A lot of people have moved on, but Evelyn and her folks are still there, right?
Yeah, she and her folks are still there. They're still waiting to go back to Kobani. There just hasn't been enough help from the international community to rebuild, their homes and allow them to return safely.
But what does it mean if other people have moved on and they have not? What are the difficulties that presents?
For the children, it's quite sad because, she's lost a lot of friends. One of the good things about, if you can say there's good things about the camp, was that she had there was a lot of other children around her, and she had sort of formed friendships with a lot of them. The volunteers had set up, these makeshift schools, and a lot of that is gone because the camps have changed. The people running the camps are changed. A lot of the children have left. So that consistency that a child needs is not there.
Now, the caliphate is being slowly defeated, but these are Kurdish people, and America is pulling out of the region, we are told, to all intents and purposes. Does that make life more dangerous for them, given their proximity in Kobani to Turkey, which doesn't like the Kurds?
Absolutely. It actually presents a few problems for them. Some of them were planning to actually return to Kobani. We had actually received, we're constantly in touch with Evelyn and her family, and they were actually planning to return, and they were very happy about that. But the news of the U.S. withdrawal changed everything, because now there's, the threat of Turkey, launching its own invasion into the region, right, which could, create instability once again.
And briefly, Goran, if you will, what do you think a film like this achieves? What does it tell us that we didn't already know?
Well, I think a lot of the films out there, a lot of the news clips and news stories out there are covering the war. A lot of it is showing the violence, which is important to document. But what we felt that was missing out there was something that can tell the story of the refugees, and really connect audience members with the refugees, with the people, the ordinary people that are affected by these tragedies.
Right. And I think it does that well. And just very quickly, you have a website?
Yeah, we do. It's www.resistancemovie.com.
Okay.
And there at the bottom, there's a support link for an organization that's working to rebuild Kobani and some of the other areas around there.
Okay, well, the movie is called Resistance with Life, is Life. Resistance is Life. It's available online now. Goran Zaneti, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.